You're listening to
Catholic Sprouts,
the daily podcast for Catholic kids that strives to plant seeds of faith. Hey there, Sprouts. Today is Thursday, November 28th, 2019. It is also the feast day of the French saint, Saint Catherine Laboure. And if you are in the United States, today is Thanksgiving Day. So this week on the Catholic Sprouts podcast, we have been talking about wisdom. We've talked about how wisdom is standing on top of a mountain like Moses with God and looking down on the world through the eyes of God. We talked about how God is the ultimate being. He is the uncaused cause. He is God. Everything we see, He created. We talked about the opposite of wisdom, which is foolishness, and how we need to keep ourselves detached from the world and instead live for heaven. Now, today on Thanksgiving Day, we are going to look at an incredible saint, the saint of the day, something we are so thankful for as Catholics that we have these amazing lives of saints to serve as models for our own holiness. And we are going to look at her life and the amazing gift that Mary gave to us through her. So St. Catherine was French, and she eventually became a nun, but when she was a little girl at the age of 9, her mother died. Now, that's so sad to think of a little girl who's only 9 years old to grow up without her mother. But from a very early age, St. Catherine loved her faith, and she particularly loved Mary. So the story goes that St. Catherine came home from her mother's funeral, and she took the statue of Mary that they had in their home. She hugged the statue, kissed it, and told Mary, "Now you are my mother." Isn't that beautiful? So St. Catherine grew up and she worked various jobs, and eventually she began to discern a call to the religious life. Now, St. Catherine was a mystic. If you remember when we talked about St. Faustina, a mystic is someone that receives mystical visions from God. They're definitely a mystery to us, but they have been confirmed through various things, whether they happen in dreams or they fall into a state of ecstasy while they are awake. They are given a chance to really see saints or Mary or Jesus and converse with them. And St. Catherine saw many mystical visions throughout her life. The first visions that she received were actually in the form of dreams, and these were of St. Vincent de Paul. St. Vincent de Paul was also French, and he lived before her, and he founded an order. And St. Catherine received visions of him that led her to join his order. The interesting thing is that she saw this saint in her visions and was drawn to his order before she even realized that this was a vision of St. Vincent de Paul and that he was the great saint that had founded the order she eventually joined. So St. Catherine became a religious, and while living in the monastery, she began to see Mary in visions. The first vision that she received of Mary, she was actually in her cell, and she heard a child's voice calling her into the chapel. When she entered, she saw Mary. Amazingly, she saw Mary there. And Mary told her that she had a mission for her. Later, Mary appeared to her, and St. Catherine received an amazing image of Mary. The image had Mary standing in an oval frame, and around the sides there were the words, "O Mary, conceived without sin, pray for us who have recourse to thee." So there were these words written around her. And the vision of Mary, she was standing on top of the earth with her foot upon a snake. Her hands were down, and from her hands were rays of light. Mary explained to St. Catherine that this was the image she wanted her to bring to the world. She also explained to her what this meant. Mary standing there with her hands down and rays coming from each of her fingers, this was the grace that God had allowed to flow through Mary. Now, we believe that Mary is the perfect disciple. She is God's instrument. She takes no glory for herself, but God allows all of his graces to flow through her. And that's what this image shows us. St. Catherine looked at the image and she wondered, well, why are some of the rays from your hands not reaching the earth? And Mary explained that those were graces that people weren't asking for or weren't open to receive. So even through this image, we can see, yes, Mary wants to give us her grace and her love, the grace from God that flows through her. But there's so much of it that people don't even ask for. Now, Mary didn't just show this to her. She gave St. Catherine a mission. She said, I want you to take this image and bring it to the world. So St. Catherine, through the help of her spiritual director, they made a medal that perhaps you've seen a lot of people wear. It's an oval shape with Mary on it, with words inscribed around the outside. Very quickly, this medal became super popular. People wore it all the time. And Mary told them that all who wear this image will enjoy a special protection and even graces. And it's true. So many people experienced miracles and protection while wearing this medal that very soon it was named the Miraculous Medal. And that's what we still call it today, the Miraculous Medal. I wear a miraculous medal every single day around my neck. Many, many people do. I encourage you to find an image of the miraculous medal. You can easily find one online. Perhaps your teacher or parent who's with you has one around their neck right now. But I would like you, and that is my challenge for you today, to find an image of a miraculous medal. And if your parent is okay with it, I want you to consider wearing one. Maybe you're not quite at the right age to wear one right now, and that's fine. This can simply be something that you remember for the future. But wearing a miraculous medal is something that Mary asks all of us to do, and it is a special way to keep Mary with you and to enjoy her graces and her protection. That's it for Catholic Sprouts today. We'll be back tomorrow, but until then, continue to grow in your faith and truly sprout into the beautiful creation that God created you to be. Hey there, Sprouts. Just one quick word about all of the new, fun, saint-themed products that you can find in the Catholic Sprouts shop. There is a brand new, revised, and beautifully printed Saints of the Catholic Church cross-stitch pattern book, as well as about 18 new different t-shirts that allow you to dress up as some of your favorite saints. To go look through and grab a few, head to shop.catholicsprouts.com or simply check out the link in this podcast episode.